Welcome to Truth Be Told, the program where guests talk about being authentic and being their real selves. Today, my guest is someone that has lived their lives through their business, through what the journey. She is not only an entrepreneur, she is someone who has helped quite a few people. And also quite happy to say that through some tough times, she has been my mentor. Please welcome Laurette Lee.
Thank you. It's good to be here. I'm excited. I'm like, oh, this is really fun to see like all the questions that you're giving me and like our little conversation today. And like
Yeah,
blue shirt, purple shirts, matching shirts today.
I
So
know. Like I said, our tribute to Prince.
purple rain.
Yeah, you know what? I was actually talking to my mother and my sister a few weeks ago about Prince, because I was playing to them the song 1999. You heard of the song, right?
Yeah.
No, and then I played them the song Studio by Phil Collins.
Yeah.
The songs are eerily familiar. They sound a lot the same. And people actually called out Phil Collins because they said, like, hey, did you rip off Prince? And he actually straight up admitted, yeah, I was actually like influenced by Prince and by that in that song, because at the time, like, I wasn't actually listening a lot to him. And I'm not trying to rip off the song, but like I love Prince. The Studio, like the song. Yeah, I was actually really influenced by Prince. Interesting fact.
Yay.
Both were #1 hits. Oh, but yeah, so Phoenix career development. Yeah, you started that off after quite a slew of career paths.
Yeah. Like people are like, how many jobs have you had? I always win because I'm like the definition of like not happy with that, not happy with that, not happy with that. I really was supposed to open my own company. Like I've had like over 40 jobs my entire life for sure.
Oh my God. Wow. And
They help me
what?
get 7 streams of income, 7 streams of spiritual growth. Like they help me with understanding how to create amazing careers for myself and for my clients.
Yeah. And you know what, though, I actually and before and also you are also another thing that I should mention, you are an author. A journey of epic portion, slay some
Yeah.
dragons.
It's about my first year of business. So I was like, especially in a pandemic, I'm like, how do people run empires? Do you know what I mean? Like, how do
Yeah.
you actually do it? How does the entrepreneur like run a successful like empire? So I was like, well, I'm
Mhm.
gonna write my experience as like my first year of business, my second year of business, my third year. So that's my first year of business, what happened, and like how did it work? And you read it, so like you can tell if it was bad or not.
No, I actually, no, really, I actually read it. I really like it, and the way that you uh, portray yourself in this book, and it was as if you are a kind of like a princess and the warrior, and you like you have this sword where the dragons are the obstacles in your life, and the
Mhm.
proportions are just all the different steps or phases that you go through in your that you're going through, like the different steps in your business and so forth.
Mhm.
You know?
Like, and it started with like a unicorn. I've always been weird, but I don't like being weird. I was like, why am I so weird? And like people would just be like, you're weird. And I'm like, can you explain why I'm weird? And they're like,
Oh, you know, oh,
no. So like,
oh
right?
yeah, kind of like remember that the quote that your mother said about the like normal. You know, normal is just a
On a
setting
hair
on a hair
dryer.
dryer.
Yeah.
Almost sounds like even something Dr. Phil would say. You know.
Right? It's such like a mom line too. And I like deeply remember it. That's why I put it in my book like 20 years, 30 years later. She's like, this is the cutest moment where she's like, normal is a setting on a hair dryer and that. And I'm like, well, that's going in my book, like for sure.
Yeah.
But like once I understood that, hey, I'm weird, like I am the unicorn in life,
Mhm.
I got to be like, wait a minute, I can transform into the Viking princess. I can tell my own story. Like, hey, I may be weird. I may be like, I was raised in the generation of like, let's give trophies to kids because they just showed up. And I'm like, oh no.
What?
And that
Yeah,
does not help anyone,
actually,
right?
we're no longer in that. Like, just you. It's. Hey, I actually even like that just participation trophies. I don't know. It's just
It doesn't work. There's no like actually winning the game of life is like so sweet, and like at the end of the day it's not necessarily who wins, but it's
mhm,
how you played the game. Do you know what I
yeah.
mean? And so that's honestly what entrepreneurship is like, is
Hmm.
you get to set your own game, you get to play your own game, and then you get to like receive money, like high risk high reward. You don't know how you're getting money, but you know you've set up a system where like you receive money. And that's why within my company, like it's called Phoenix because you die in life and it's extremely unpainful. But like there's processes to life. So it's
Yeah.
really death to life to full abundance to like running an empire of like epic proportions. But it's painful. Like growth is painful. Being the unicorn was painful. Like being the Viking princess is awesome, but I have to kill dragons or they'll eat me.
Yeah. And also, I'm guessing, based on Greek mythology, the phoenix, that they
Mhm,
keep rebirthing and or
mhm.
I don't know if I got
Regeneration.
it,
That's the word.
regenerating,
Yeah.
rating, right? Correct me if
Mhm.
I'm wrong.
No, you're on the right track.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm done the right. You were talking about being weird, but you know what? That's just a kind of a construct because you're not like everybody else. You don't conform to what the standard what that everybody does. Like even there was that uh, like even that other that letter that your father actually wrote down,
Yeah.
and I found that it's so sweet as well. That there was that quote he even said, like
That's
there's
all of
only
us. Yeah.
one you, and you should embrace that. And I thought that was just so
Yeah.
sweet.
When
Yeah.
I
It's-
started my journey of like self-love, I started to love my weird, and then other people started to love my weird. So like living my truth is really vulnerability. Like I'm weird. And then so I pulled into it and I leaned into my weird. And then instead of getting like fried at the stake or crucified at the stake, people were like, yeah, I'm weird too, secretively. Like I think secretively everyone's weird, but they're like still depending on their vulnerability.
yeah.
But once you show your real cards in life, like I'm weird, I've accepted it, you almost get a deeper sense of love from the people around you. And like you almost create another counter cultural community of like weirdness where like they've accepted your weird and your weirdness is almost like a badge of honor.
Yeah. Yeah, at this point, it's just like, okay, well, guess what? I don't fit
Which
in
is
your
awesome.
tiny little box. You know what? All being me, just take it or leave it. And
Mhm.
what, like, I know it might sound like some cliche from a Hallmark card or some T-shirt, but what good is it going to be to you to put on a facade to everyone and then but but then in the end you're lying to yourself,
Yeah.
you know,
That's true
only to
authenticity.
please others.
Yeah, true authenticity, that's the word,
Mhm. Yeah,
is like where you're being true to yourself and then other people can love your truth and love your beauty. So that's why like authenticity is super important and it's super scary too, right? But like no one else, like some people are like, dragons are dumb, Laurette, Viking princesses are stupid. And I'm like, I know, but I live in this imaginary land and like
oh, okay.
I do kill dragons and I do go on this adventure and that's what life is about.
Yeah, like like you said, like I think you even to me, I even look, like I said, when I was looking at the cover, I think you probably did you choose like the that princess because the
Yeah.
maybe she has like superpowers that people are no, like, is there like a superpower that we should know about you that you think that we are associating with?
Well, I'm really tall, number 1. So it's just like
Yeah.
and I'm Norwegian, so like it made sense for my heritage and for my lineage to be like
Oh, there you go.
Viking warrior princess because I'm super tall. But like I think that everyone has an intuition. That's just a fact. Do you know what I mean? So everyone
Uh-huh.
has this spirituality about them. Everyone has these magical superpowers that we never talk about. Like my magical superpower is like pre-energy, or I like create energy, or like when I work with clients, I'll be super sad one day and then 2 days later they'll be super sad. So I get like
Yeah.
pre-energy feelings from my clients. So I'll know what they're thinking before they're thinking it with feelings. So, like, everyone has superpowers. And so I wanted in my book to be like, this is my practical superpower is being a Viking princess. And like in my later books, because this is like first episode, first series, first year was like the Viking princess. This like the unicorn becoming the Viking princess. That was year 1. Year 2 was like self mastery, and it was self mastery of the Viking princess. But year 3 is the year that I'm in right now. You can't stay a princess forever. Like you have to like turn into something, right? So like
Mhm.
even within Phoenix career development, it's in the name, and then like you change again and you change again. So I just finished my 3rd book in the series where I become the empress, but I have magical powers, which are the magi, which like everyone has magic in them, which is their intuition, which is like 7 streams of income per se, or 7 streams of spiritual growth, or both. But also the enchantress. So like your voice is like your word is your wand. Like what you say gets created out in life. And there's such a power to the story or the narrative of life. Like manifestation is a real thing. So this year in my business, it went esoterical. Like, is this chair a chair? Is this career a career? And I was just like, oh man, I went down a weird rabbit hole this year. And that's why I failed completely. But because I learned how to fail, I know what not to do. And what I actually learned in my 3rd year business is when you're vulnerable, that's like you connect deeper with people. And like business is only done with people that you know, like, and trust. I've done business now for 3 years. Like you and me have known each other for like 3 years. We know
Mhm.
each other. We like each other. That's why we're like, come on my podcast, come on my podcast.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
a year from now, I'm gonna be like, come back on my podcast because you're one of
Oh
my
yeah,
favorites.
absolutely. I we
So
we even
yes, we
shared
have
this.
superpowers.
we even shared like this is like I had like a personal moment where I like things got personal where I was discussing like well when I lost my father and you
Mhm.
know it got tough.
That's tough, yeah.
Yeah.
Personal development work is not easy.
Oh,
Like career development is not easy because it bleeds into everything. So it
yeah.
just like bled into, well, this is the reason why I'm unemployed. But like now you're employed, have an awesome job. Now you have a
Yeah.
podcast. Like now you're like cool. Now you have confidence. And you had confidence before, but like
Oh,
in life, you know what I
you
mean? Confidence, no
you
confidence,
you
confidence.
you trust me. You came in at like when I was at like like really at an all time low.
Mhm.
I was when I came in, I had a problem that that job hunt log that had 100 pages, and
Right?
it
You
was
I'm not getting any. I'm
oh
like,
my
oh.
god, yeah, yeah,
And that was
oh,
vulnerability, right? That was you had to be honest with me about your career development journey and how terrible it was going
oh my
so that we
god,
could add other things to it.
yeah, and uh, no, and it was to the point where there was that question that you asked me where it baffled my mind. Like it was
Oh
supposed to
no.
be an easy question, and I totally blanked. Do you remember
I
that?
don't
Do you remember what that question
it
was?
had to do with one of your values, wasn't it? It was it was a mid conversation that we had.
It
It had to do
was
with a value though. How do you play?
what do you want?
No.
Or I think
Yeah.
it was some of these questions were like, what do you want in life? Or
Yeah.
what makes you happy?
What do you really want? Well, yeah, what do you want in life? That's
And I
the
said,
hardest question
I
anyone can
don't
ask
know.
you.
I actually said, I don't know.
I just did my what do you want like on Monday this
Like I
week.
actually
Might
was
have been
saying, like, I
Tuesday.
don't know. Like
Yeah, I
like
remember.
I was thinking, like, hey, like I'm throwing my resume around, and I'm basically getting no's. Like, hey, I'm at the point where within the job hunting world, it's like, you know what? Maybe the job for jobs, the world is just saying, you know what? Good try. It wasn't meant to be.
Right? I'm never gonna have a job ever. I'm like, yeah, you will. What do you want for 2023? I just did those on Monday because we only have
Yeah.
3 more months left of this year. I'm already wrapped up for like 2022. I'm like already in 2023 without
Yeah.
being in 2023. And like when this airs, it'll be 2023. So like
Yeah.
I already did my what do you want because they're hard and I have to sit there for an hour and think about it. Because I'm like, what do I want? Do you
Yeah.
remember what you didn't have an answer then? What's your answer now?
Oh, well, let's see. What no, I want, well, now I can say this. I want to be able no, to work again. I would
Yeah.
love to be able to buy a car. And
Yeah.
I actually said at some point, I think at around 2021, I said I wanted to be able to work. No, it's not like once I'm able to work, I want to be able to drive again because I
Mhm.
was going through health problems. I was no longer getting seizures. And
Mhm.
the provincial government, I mean Alberta Transportation said, you know what, we looked at your case, and you know what, you're healthy enough to drive. And but it was
You're
only
like,
this
"That's it, we're
year
in the
that
car."
I actually got back in the driver's seat and even sent you the video where I'm just driving up to,
I know.
the
You're like,
house, and
"Check
I'm
this
just
out."
like,
I'm like, "What?" 'Cause it was earned. Sometimes what do you want takes a while, right? But that
yeah,
doesn't mean it was a failure. Like, those wins are so sweet, and that's honestly what I've
yes.
been learning. Yeah, because it's like I've been waiting for this moment forever, and then it happened. And then you get to make more moments. So that's why, like, I was teaching, because so I was teaching the hidden job market today, which is
Hmm.
like speaking to employers about like what do you want or how are you helping them? You know what I mean? Like how can I help
Hmm.
you? And so she was like, "Well, I don't even know what I want." I'm like, "It's not about you. It's about what your client wants and how you can help them." And she's like, "Oh." And then there was like a cute little light bulb that went off her head. And she was like, "Oh, so I'm just like there to help people." I'm like, "Yes, it's not about you. It's about what you offer other people." And that's what I love about like career development. That's what I love about networking. That's what I love about life is like when you know what you want. So she's like, "I want to help people with little projects of like welding so that I can weld for them." So like of course she makes money off of it, but she's like, "I want to help them with their little projects." So I'm like, "Yes." So as soon as she got the ask, then she could get it. So like now she has or she will get little projects from asking people like in her welding community, "Hey, do you have little projects for me?" And they're like, "Yeah, here you go. Yeah, here you go." But you need to know what you want in order to get it. Once you know what you want, you can get it, which is so awesome in life. That's the whole thing with vulnerability too. Once you know what your core root, like humanity wants in life, then you can actually appease your inner workings, like your soul, your heart, your mind, your intuition, all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
So,
And also with the like that hidden job market, like like most people just look at the ads, but but like, how about this? Just even going to straight up to the employer and just saying, "Hi, I know that you're not. I don't know if you're looking for a resume, but for people, but you know what? Here's my resume."
mhm.
Well, how
They
many?
still like that
How,
even today. Like employers are like, "I
oh,
like that. It shows initiative." Like that never goes away.
mhm.
And everyone's like, "Oh, I'm never gonna do that anymore." Yeah, you will.
I actually spent like once. I actually spent an entire like 4 hours on foot in the industrial, like West Industrial part of Edmonton, handing out resumes. Yeah,
Mhm.
like just going like, no, oh, "Hi, can I
Did
speak
you get a
to
job that way or no?
what?"
It's just good for practice too. Did you get a
Oh,
job out of it that one time?
uh, I never got a call back, but I had to be aggressive. It's just like, hey,
Mhm.
mm, 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 mm.
And like the secret to that is follow up. So then you have to go back like
Yeah,
2 months from then and be like, "Hey, remember me?" They're like, "Yes." If you're annoying, then they'll start to like, "Hey, wait, she really wants a job there. He really wants a job there." The secret is follow up and
yeah,
like building relationships.
yeah.
Mhm.
Just that borderline that, hey, remember me? I want a job. I want a job. I want a job. Yeah. And but in the job process though, there is something that we have in common. It's just like marketing yourself. Remember how you said you don't like marketing yourself?
I hate doing it, but you have to.
But it's so kind of it's because it sounds so much like the person that talks about themselves, and it's kind of like me, 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 me. What kind of me don't you understand? You know.
Mhm.
But you're right. We have to do it, but it's just that it kind of it's just fine. Sometimes I have to bridge that line between talking about what you can bring, or how you can solve a problem, and being braggadocious. And
Mhm.
no, I'm
Right.
not trying to bring that's the first word that I could come up with. Okay, I'm not trying to
I
bring it
don't even
more.
know. Yeah, like I brag too. Do you know what I mean? Like I struggle with being humble. Like that's not I've lived in like self-hate for a long time. So like I like to pump myself up. Like I like to like love myself
Yeah,
and like be considerate of myself. But like sometimes I am like the Viking princess is bold. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
not like this quiet little demeanor of a storyteller. She's a big girl that can like kill her own dragons. And so I actually had my celebration of life Thursday. And so
Yeah,
it was like 5 year anniversary of not dying. So like
yeah. I,
uh
I
yeah, five
never
years ago
even knew
almost died.
about that kind
I know
because you
I
never
don't
shared
tell
that
everyone I
with
almost
me until I read that,
you gotta
and
read my
I
book.
actually, and believe it or not, I actually practiced for this for today about how to pronounce it, and watch this cardiomyopathy. Oh
Oh,
no,
so close.
I had
Cardiomyopathy. It's myopathy, so you're close.
oh so
Cardio,
close.
yeah, cardiomyopathy. And it was like the weirdest thing because I was like, we're doing what now? Like, I had no idea what the doctor was saying to me.
Yeah.
It was just bad because there was a red folder. Like, there's nothing worse than being in the hospital and like,
Mhm.
hey, this is how you're gonna die. Here's a red folder.
Mm-mm. But
Ah,
that's not the option that you took. There
no,
were
I was like,
three outcomes that you said that you were gonna do.
well, one of them was die. And I was like, I'm gonna die. One of them was
Mm-mm.
stay the same, but I was not
Nope.
okay when I went to the hospital. Yeah. And then one of them was like, what was the other one? Like get better. But I was like,
Mhm.
or we could like do a miracle. You know what I mean? Like what happens? And it's like a serious chronic disease. Once you have it, you don't recover from it. But I was
Mhm.
like, what if you do? So like
Yeah.
your mind is an amazing thing. Like and like I had to diet and exercise and go hardcore with like that. But like I completely healed from a serious heart condition. There was no option. The doctor did
Yeah.
not give me the option of like, and then you can heal completely. Like that's a miracle, and I get to be a miracle. And like life is a miracle. And like every day you live and breathe. We make it so mundane because every day we wake up. But like
Mhm.
honestly, today is a miracle. Like every
Yeah.
day is a miracle. The gift of life is a miracle.
It is. Because it's what like yeah. Because from what I understand, basically it's an enlarged having what an enlarged heart, and it's making it harder for the no for the blood to
Yeah,
pump,
like everything
right?
runs, the blood pumps slower. Yeah, the blood pumps slower into your system and your heart is like 3 times bigger. So like the Grinch is a real thing and like that's called murdering yourself. Like it's like not good. So I wish it on no one and it took forever to heal, but like I completely healed from a serious heart condition. So I'm like, yay. But like if I so I had to like bring my uh heater cooling air
Mhm.
conditioning downstairs and it's pretty heavy. So like I still have like my heart is weaker than the average person because I took it downstairs and I was like, oh, my heart hurts. I was like wrecked for a week. So like certain things I still can't do. Like it
Mhm.
weakens who you are. But like I think that's the fun of life really is like you never know if today's your day. You never know like how amazing today can be or like how mundane and boring it can be. So I
Yeah,
don't know, I healed. We're good now. It's kind of like
absolutely.
I'm in the so what, now what of life. So like healed completely from a serious heart condition. What do I do? And I'm like, well, I go on an adventure and I enjoy the journey. And I write books and I run
Exactly.
empires.
That's
Like how
what
mind blowing is that?
that's quite the turnaround. And and you know what? But most of all, I will ask you, these critical questions. What does living your truth mean to you?
It's honestly living your truth is understanding who you are. Like, in order to live your truth, you actually have to do personal development work. So my truth is like my mission, vision, and purpose in life. So like vision, a journey of epic proportions. I made a book about it because I believe in it so much. Like purpose, a happy and healthy company. And like my mission in life is to be blessed with a mind-blowing life, go on lots of adventures, slay dragons, and go on lots of adventures, live every day with grace, hope, extreme blessings, gratitude, and grace. And like part of what it means to me is like my values. So like leadership, humor and playfulness, integrity, and like just enjoying the journey.
Nice.
That's what I
And
say to the question. Yes.
how does living your truth and being authentic make you a better person?
You meet better people along the way that align with you. Like when you speak your truth to other people, and if they don't understand you, they'll go away, right? But when you're vulnerable and you speak your truth and other people understand who you are and you align with them, you have better connections in life. You have better friendships in life. So that's how I would answer that.
And last but not least, what advice would you give to someone to embrace who they are?
It's okay to be weird. Like it's okay to be a unicorn. It's okay to be a Viking princess. Like you know how most people they're like, "How's your day?" Oh, okay, good. And then like we're never a 10 out of 10. Do you know what I mean? So like my advice is just say 10 out of 10. Just dare yourself to be like, I am legendary. Like, I am like delightfully optimistic. Like, play a different game where you win. Like, play a different game where you are amazing because you are amazing. Like, there's so much self hate out there, but like, what if you understood that you're amazing? What if you understood that, like, you're an amazing creature? And sort of that's my advice for everyone is your weird is your superpower at the end of the day. And your authenticity, being authentic to people, that's a superpower. And like the average person is too scared to do it. But like the most awesomest experiences come from you being truly authentic in life.
All right. Well, the book is called A Journey of Epic Proportion, Slay Some Dragons. You can Laurette Lee is the owner and director of Phoenix Career Development. You can reach her at www.phoenixcareerdevelopment. If you are looking to get a new career path or need help looking for work, take it from me. Laurette is going to help you out. Laurette, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
You're welcome. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you so much for watching. Make sure that you subscribe and like, and you'll keep up to date with the content on my channel.